I just feel like y'all not mad enough about how much rent is. A 2-bedroom and 2.5 bathroom. And this lady said that rent would be $3,300. $3,300. $3,300 for a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. That is crazy.
I know y'all see this gas. I know y'all see these groceries. Rent already was popping. Everything is continuing to go up.
We're cogs in a wheel, all of us. Working and working and working, and we're paying the government so much money to take care of us. We're buying things that we don't need. We're paying for things that we never asked for. And the things that we really, really need are not available to us. So we are stuck in this abusive relationship.
Cry me a river. You are not in a financially abusive relationship. You are in America. You are in America. It's the land of the free. Is it more expensive now than it has been in times before? Yes. Does it require you to make sacrifices if you ain't in the financial position that you want to be? Yes. But are there tons of opportunities available for you to increase your income rather than coming on the internet and crying about basic things that every person is going to have to do, regardless of where you live in this world? You're going to have to pay for housing. You're going to have to pay for utilities. You're going to have to pay for transportation. It is the facts of life.
You shouldn't have to be a f***ing brain surgeon and a top YouTuber getting married to buy the average house and have one child. When just 30 years ago, a high school dropout who's like, I'm just gonna live my life and get a job down the street, could raise a family on that. That's the American dream.
Oh my gosh, like times are really high. Okay, so I came to meet with a client, but I went to the rental office. There was an issue with the address, whatever. So I asked the lady if I could say to call my client. So I sat down and I called my client, but then she was on the phone with somebody who was trying to rent or lease, whatever they were trying to do. So apparently this person was trying to rent a 2-bedroom and 2.5 bathroom. And this lady said that rent would be $3,300. $3,300. $3,300 for a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. That is crazy. That is crazy. Like, things are so high. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm like, if you are paying that much, how much are you making per month? I honestly, I don't know what to say. It's so crazy how the way things are right now. Like, it's so crazy. Like, make that make sense.
Yeah, there's no doubt that those are some high rent prices for a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, but there's always the need for context. And for some reason, they leave out the context. For example, first and foremost, location. Where is it located? What business, what neighborhood is it in? Because for some places, that's not out of the normal for the rent to be that high for something like that. Is it a house? Is it an apartment? Is it a high rise? Like, what is it? Now, if you show us some dilapidated spot and you're telling us the rent is $3,300, then yeah, it's like, what in the world? That should never cost that much. And don't get me wrong, I understand that rent prices they're always going up, and because of the current economy, they're through the roof in many cases. But it's one of those instances where thankfully that's not the only place that's available. And hopefully those individuals have the opportunity to find somewhere else that is more affordable for them. Because like she said, you have to be in a position where, you're not paying more for rent than you're able to bring in on a monthly basis. Again, that is why having a budget is so vitally important, because you need to be able to budget for your housing so you can see, okay, how much of an increase can you pay in rent based on the amount of money that you're currently bringing in and your other expenses, especially those fixed expenses that you have every single month. But yeah, man, no doubt prices are going up, but context is so important to actually identify whether or not that's really a high cost depending on the location. It depends on what the place is, right? At least that's my thoughts.
I feel like I am stuck in an abusive relationship that I cannot get out of. I have to pay the electric company or I won't have electricity. I have to go to the food store to buy groceries to eat and to feed my family, or we will starve to death. I have to pay for medical insurance. so that if something happens, we're protected. Auto insurance. Because what if? What if there's a car accident? I have to buy gas. I can't just make gas on my own. I can't just make oil to heat my house. We are stuck. Because the only way that we will be unstuck is if every human being decided to do the exact same thing. Stop moving. Stop driving, stop traveling, give up your vehicles, give up live on a commune. But other than that, there's no way we are getting out of this abusive relationship. And we predicted that this was going to happen and nobody listened. And now it's happening. And I just spent almost $4 a gallon for gas. And guess what? Oh, well, because I'm in my car, because I have to drive places today. I have shit to do today. So it doesn't matter if the gas was $8 a gallon. I still have to buy gas, and they know that we have to buy gas. We're cogs in a wheel, all of us, working and working and working, and we're paying the government so much money to take care of us. We're buying things that we don't need. We're paying for things that we never asked for, and the things that we really, really need are not available to us. So we are stuck in this abusive relationship. And there's no place for us to go.
I hate to do this, but I gotta do it. Woman, please cry me a river. You are not in a financially abusive relationship. You are in America. You are in America. It's the land of the free. Is it more expensive now than it has been in times before? Yes. Does it require you to make sacrifices if you ain't in the financial position that you want to be? Yes. But are there tons of opportunities available for you to increase your income rather than coming on the internet and crying about basic things that every person is going to have to do, regardless of where you live in this world? You're going to have to pay for housing. You're going to have to pay for utilities. You're going to have to pay for transportation. It is the facts of life. So out of one breath, you can't talk about, oh my God, I'm in this financially abusive relationship. No, you're not. And the government is never something that you should rely on to take care of you. That is the issue. Get off your bum and be willing to put in the work. Is it tough? Yes, but that's life, man. That's life. It's not just the economy, it's life. Life is never going to be easy. Even if you go to another country, it's not going to solve your problem. It may reduce your cost of living, but guess what? You'll find something else to complain about. This is really a mentality that people have. It is a mindset that people have. Instead of looking at the tough times and trying to find the opportunities, which is what wise people do, which is what people that are financially sound. That's what they do. They look at why everybody else is crying, whining, and complaining. They figuring out, well, hold on, man, what are they not tapping into? Because the majority of people are complaining as opposed to taking advantage of the opportunities that are still available. And yes, we all have to pay taxes. We all have to kick back to the government. Because guess what? If you don't want to pay any taxes, you got two options. You either have the option of not working, which puts you in a position where now, how in the world are you going to be able to take care of yourself? Or you put yourself in a position where you learn about the tax code. You learn about the benefits that can allow you to take advantage of certain tax write-offs so that you can reduce your taxable income while still being able to make more money. The key thing at the end of the day is, yes, the cost is more expensive, but the opportunities to make more money have never been this. They've never been this great. They've never been this great. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they wish they had the ability to make as much money as we have today. I mean, let's be honest. We have teenagers that are multimillionaires. So how can we look at somebody like this in your middle age, you're 40, you're 50 something years old, and you're complaining about making money, and we got freaking 18, 19-year-olds making millions of dollars and flashing and showing off these crazy lifestyles. So clearly there is a way for you to get out of this hole, but you have to ask yourself if you really want to, and if it's something that you really want to do. I get it. It's hard for people, but once you recognize and you get over the fact that, hey, this is hard, now you got to say, I got to do something to get myself out of this. I got to take control. Why rely on the government? Why rely on anybody? Do it yourself. You can do it. There's so many opportunities that are available.
I just feel like y'all not mad enough about how much rent is for me. And then people say, oh, go buy a house. Well, yeah, buying a house makes sense. But if you're doing it on your own, when the damn roof go bad or the damn plumbing stops working or the HVAC stops, who y'all want me to call? Y'all want me to call y'all? Because I enjoy calling the maintenance man. But for these prices, I mean, I don't know. The hell?
Yo, first off, sweetheart, ain't nobody in this day and age, and especially in this economy, caring about what you paying for rent. People worrying about what they paying for rent and how they gonna get their rent paid. So they not as worried as you may think. People don't care, man. They don't care if you rent a house. They don't care if you rent an apartment. We care about taking care of our own household, our own family. And yeah, by all means, baby, do what you gotta do. You ain't gotta get in a house. Yes, would it be a benefit to do so? But if it doesn't fit the financial plan that you've developed, I'm hoping you have a financial plan. I'm hoping you have a financial strategy, right? If it ain't time for you to get the house because it costs too much, it don't align with your financial budget and plan, then stay as a renter. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Just 30 years ago, someone could be working at Macy's, marry someone who's working at Lowe's 40 hours a week, get married, buy a house, and raise 3 children. The American dream, and pull that off in their late 20s or early 30s. Now, we created an economy where none of the essential jobs for Gen Zers can afford to have access to the American dream in a reasonable time frame. They might be able to save and get access to it at 57, but what the fuck? You want them to live in an apartment and sacrifice till they're 57? When every other generation before us got to have access to it in their late 20s, early 30s, if you f***ed up maybe late 30s, you shouldn't have to be a brain surgeon and a top YouTuber getting married to buy the average house and have 1 child. When just 30 years ago, a high school dropout who's like, I'm just going to live my life and get a job down the street could raise a family on that. That's the American dream. That's where the boomers get that work hard, pull yourself up. No shit. If you could drop out of high school and go work 50 hours a week at a factory and break your freaking back, but you bought a house and raised 3 kids with a stay-at-home mom, you should be proud of that. We're not trying to take that from you. That doesn't exist anymore. You have to be extraordinary today to live an ordinary life.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to cook him. First of all, it's not 30 years ago. And second of all, why the hell are we comparing ourselves to people that work at Lowe's and college dropouts? I get your point that somebody would not have to, work very hard or have a high paying job in order to get a house and be able to raise a family. Do I think that it shouldn't take a person being rich to do those things? I agree. You should not have to be rich to purchase a home. You should not have to be rich in order to go and take care of your family. But at the same time, why are we comparing ourselves to people that we would consider in a struggling position? Do you think that somebody, or I would hope that nobody that was working at Lowe's or working at Home Depot or Macy's in the example that he gave, or was a college dropout, wanted to stay that way? I think that is the issue. Why do we think that things are not going to change? See, this is the issue with so many people today. And I'm not even just going to say Americans, but people across the globe. They get stuck in this mindset of thinking that everything is going to remain the same. That is not the way life works, right? Things evolve, things change. The question is, are you preparing for the change? And that is where a lot of people drop the ball. Man, oh man, why would you want to be able to be in the same position as your grandparents or your great-grandparents 30 years ago? We are in a much better position. There are so many opportunities available to us that they never had, that they wish they had. Man, there's so many ways to get rich and do it in a great time frame. The only thing that I would say that I'm in agreement with him is, yes, it costs more. It definitely costs more for housing now than it did then. But the opportunities to make more money than ever before is before us. And the question is, are we going to spend our time complaining about how expensive things are, or are we going to start tapping into these opportunities that enable us to make more money than was ever possible before in your 30s? How many 19 and 18-year-olds were freaking rich millionaires that didn't grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth 30 years ago? It was nearly unheard of, absolutely unheard of. But today, it is something that is at least a possibility for those who are willing to put in the work. That's what it boils down to. Is it going to be easy? No. Is the government or somebody going to hand it to you? Hell no. So you have to be willing to do what? Lock in, put in the work, develop the skills so that you can make as much money as you desire. it's the opportunity is available. It's just whether or not we're going to tap into it or not.
Woo, we done made it to another Monday, y'all, and the economy is still basura. It is still trash. It is still struggling. And most are one unexpected bill away from a real problem. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm saying it because it's true. And pretending it isn't doesn't help anyone. I know y'all see this gas. I know y'all see these groceries. Rent already was popping. Everything is continuing to go up. And most are sitting with one income stream, hoping that it just holds. I was that person. I lost my income not once, but twice. The first time was when COVID happened. The second time was due to health. I know the exact feeling of that fear and panic to have a family relying on you when your income has disappeared. But here's what I also know. We're living in a time where you can build real income from your phone. Without a degree, without experience, without showing your face if you don't want to.
Right.
The opportunities are real. The paths exist. And they're built for people starting exactly where you are. You don't need more time. You don't need more money. You need a starting point.
Oh my goodness. Yo, she just said it. She just said it. And that's exactly what I'm saying is I can acknowledge all of the things that we see happening because of the economy. Housing is more, groceries are more, gas is more, utilities are more. Everything is more expensive. It's harder to buy homes. I don't refute none of that. But at the end of the day, we cannot ignore the fact that the opportunities are also increasing. So we have this ability to go out and make more money than ever before. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want this channel to do is attract the people who can get this wake up call. Because I know some people are going to be mad. They want to wallow in it. They just want to complain about how expensive stuff is and not do anything about it. But like she said, you could literally right now without a degree, and in some cases without even a high school education, you could grab your phone and start making money. Now, does that mean you're instantly going to become a millionaire overnight? Hell no, that's never been possible. And it's not possible today, but you can make more money than ever before. I think a lot of people are just stuck in the way things were before and not recognizing that, yo, things have changed, but they've changed for the better. They change for the better. Like you hate clocking into a 9 to 5. You no longer have to. You can find a job that you enjoy doing, develop a skill that is going to be profitable, and you can go out there, start your own business or take your skill set to a company that you actually want to work with or, do your own thing, freelance. Like there is so many opportunities. So many opportunities. But the question is, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to sacrifice? And are you willing to let go of the easy option, which is to just complain that everything is more expensive? That's a decision that each individual has to make for themselves. The opportunities are there if we tap into them, but if we don't, that's our own choice. Man, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you ain't got to subscribe. You ain't got to subscribe until you're ready. But what I would love for you to do is check out the video that's on your screen right now. It's another great breakdown. We can continue the fun. I hope you'll click it so we can do that. Until the next time, I'm Jay. Stay blessed.